Okay guys, so today's warm-up number 5, our 5th warm-up for this year, is actually inspired by your visual journals. As I was looking at your visual journal entries, I realized that so many of you included as one of your facts that an artist had children or an artist didn't have children. And some of you were looking for visual ways to represent that, and some of you landed on this idea of drawing a stick person. And so I thought, you know what, if they want to include this information and they're looking for a visual way, I should really provide them with a way to do that. So today we're going to draw a fun little baby, and this warm-up drawing actually comes from a book called Draw Horrible Pictures, which has a lot of fun step-by-step guided drawings. So we're going to get started with a circle. As you know, I always advise you to draw lightly so that you can go back in and erase as needed. Okay, so I am drawing lightly. I'm using my sketching style that I typically use when I draw. When I do your warm-ups in class, I do draw a little bit darker and fewer lines just to help you see what I'm doing. But most of the time when I'm working, I do very sketchy lines. Okay, so from here, we're going to add a triangle in. So I'm going to sketch in the top of the triangle first. So we want this in, if we were to draw a line here, we want it to be meeting at about there. And then we're going to extend this out because this is going to help us find the shape of this little baby that we're drawing. It should be a little bit wider than the head so that the body is wider than our head. I'm going to sketch that out. I'm going to make sure I extend a little bit beyond the head on both sides. Try and keep it symmetrical. If not symmetrical, it's not the end of the world. And we're going to finish off our triangle. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding details. And the first thing we're going to look at is adding that baby belly. And we're going to use this triangle to help us do that. So we're going to come out with a curved line, and it's almost a circle, not quite. We're going to come down here. It's going to be a little bit flat right here. We're going to come back up. We're going to try and keep it the same on this side so we can look at our negative space. This is called negative space, and we're trying to recreate that shape when we draw over here. Okay, so now we've sketched in the body, or the belly, I should say. Let's put on the little arms. So these are going to start right about here, and they're just going to curve up and connect back down. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We'll do them approximately the same height. And try and keep them approximately the same width so that they're fairly symmetrical, mostly the same. Okay, now we're going to go in and we're going to add the feet down here. And our feet on this little guy are going to kind of look like jelly beans, and they're going to be placed in slightly different places. So watch where I'm going to put them. I'm going to use this triangle. I'm going to draw a curved line to the triangle. From there, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to curve this line a little bit. Okay, so that was our original triangle. We did a curve, then we came inside of the triangle and added a curved line. And then we're going to come down here and curve back up to meet this. So like I said, kind of like a little jelly bean. And we're going to come over here, and it's going to be similar, but it's going to be put in a slightly different spot just to make it a little bit more interesting. So we're going to come over here, sketch in the top of that, come in through here, curve. Okay, and then we're just going to come down ever so slightly to make the heel of the foot and curve back up and in. Okay. So we're getting there. We're starting to see this baby. Amazing how a circle and a triangle can be used to turn into something much cooler, like a little baby. Okay, so we're gonna add little circles to the ends of these arms. We'll try and keep them about the same size. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add that mouth. Babies cry a lot. Some of you may have babies that live in your house. Maybe you have a very sweet baby who never cries. But most babies have at least a couple of little tantrums every day, or a few times a day where they're crying. So let's draw this mouth nice and open. So we're gonna come into the top of this triangle. And again, this is almost like a jelly bean shape that we're about to draw. Okay, and this guy's mouth is very wide open because he's very, or she is very unhappy. And they are crying / screaming in this picture. Okay, now we're gonna add in the legs. So we're gonna come here and we are going to draw a line that curves just outside of the triangle and back down to the foot. There is something called foreshortening happening in this picture, which can be very challenging to draw, but through these guided steps, it makes it much, much easier. We're gonna come back up and draw a curved line in. Are you starting to see that leg? Okay, so we're gonna come over to the other side. We're gonna curve out and in, and then curve up from this line. Okay. All right, so now we get to start adding the fun details, and here's where you get to start making this more your own. So I'm gonna stick with the original. We'll see what it looks like, and maybe I'll make some adjustments. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna erase the lines I no longer need. So I don't need that triangle anymore. It helped me a lot. It helped me establish where a lot of things went, but I don't need it anymore. So I'm gonna pull out those lines with my eraser so that what I'm left with is that cute little baby, and we are going to, before I fully erase that, we're going to draw a little line right here to make the bottom of his legs, or her legs. Okay. So now we get to put in those fun details. We're going to add some ears up here. So just kind of like a letter U on either side. Okay. Just 2 lines. Maybe a tooth in here. Maybe he's crying or she is crying because they're teething, which means they're getting their teeth in, which is pretty painful for babies. And then we'll draw in the tongue. Fingers. This is a cartoon, so we don't have to have all 5 fingers. You'll notice in a lot of cartoon drawings, artists often only include 3 or 4. I'm not sure why that is, but that's pretty typical of cartoon style drawings. So we'll stick with that style since that's the style we're working in. I'm going to come over here and give this little guy 4 fingers, drawing one shorter than the other. That one got a little bit long. I can always go back and adjust them, just like you can go back and adjust them. So these ones got a little wonky. I'm going to fix them. Got a little too long. That's better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase the top of that circle inside of the hands. And we're going to add the top of the onesie this baby's wearing. And let's see, what else can we add? We're going to add maybe some eyebrows in here. angry or she's angry, and a little nose. Okay, let's add some lines on our tongue. Remember, because this is a video, you can always pause this to follow along with me, and then we'll make it look even more like his mouth is really open, screen, kind of like a teardrop shape here. Okay, and let's add some details to this little guy's outfit. Here. Throw in some buttons on here. And maybe a curve in the top of here. Else you want to add? I think that's pretty good. We could add some little tears to indicate that he's crying or she is crying. If you wanted to go back in and add hair, you could. You're gonna go ahead in and darken up your lines that you're keeping. Now that you're done, erase any of those sketched lines that you no longer need. Of course, you're always going to be able to go back to my YouTube channel and find this warm-up. So the next time we work on a visual journal page and the artist has a kid and you want to represent that, you can go back and check out this video to help you draw a little kid on your picture. You could, of course, add color to this. For today, we're going to leave it just a little line drawing. And if you wanted to change it, put your own spin on it, remember you can always change the outfit, add some hair, add a little bow to its hair, whatever you need to do to make it your own. So this is warm-up number 5, Tantrum, Baby Throwing a Tantrum.